Cast your mind back to 2004. You know, if you were alive. The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures was just released on the GameCube. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed was in theaters, and right at home on your TV, if you were checking out Toon Disney, you'd be greeted with something different.
Welcome to the world of Jetix!
A programming block that would air on Toon Disney, with a focus on action cartoons. It was created to compete with Cartoon Network's Toonami. A bit of a bold strategy, considering Toonami often airs mature anime, while Jetix still had a focus on children's entertainment. Heck, the name Jetix is because kids in a focus group like the name, saying it just sounded action-y. Airing original programming, but also primarily having a focus on anime from the Saban Entertainment Library. Yeah, Saban, of course this somehow has to loop back to Power Rangers. So today, we're gonna dive a little into the extreme and beloved world of Jetix. But you know what really matters to me? Internet security! Luckily, we have our friends with today's sponsor, ExpressVPN, looking out for us. A VPN is a virtual private network, which serves as a tunnel between your device and the internet, designed to keep your online activity private and secure. Nowadays, only basic computer knowledge is needed for hackers to gain access to your emails, passwords, or credit card details. So, to combat that, ExpressVPN wraps your traffic in an encrypted tunnel, meaning if you connect to some public or sketchy Wi-Fi, like in an airport in many experiences, you'll be safe. ExpressVPN also lets you unblock content from around the world. Did you know some movies and shows aren't available on your favorite streaming services depending on where you live? Like, as an American, why am I not allowed to watch Dragon Ball Super Broly or Howl's Moving Castle on Netflix? Well, with ExpressVPN, my online location can now be set to anywhere else in the world, like Spain. And just like that, boom, all those movies and shows are available. So, if you're ready to boost your internet security and gain access to thousands of extra shows all around the world, find out how you can get up to 4 extra months by clicking the link in the description at expressvpn.com/waffle, or scan the QR code on screen. That link again is expressvpn.com/waffle for 4 extra months, or you can scan the QR code. Do whatever you want. That's the type of freedom that comes with ExpressVPN. Kicking things off with Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. What a name. We got a pretty strong show to start with. Premiering in 2004, Super Robot Monkey Team follows 5 cyborg monkeys who fight the evil forces and protect the world. Accompanying them is a young boy named Chiro. He doesn't have any powers or anything, but he does have a cool outfit when it's time to fight.
Hyperforce Go!
Now, I know that not everything is Power Rangers, but a big reason why I enjoyed the show as a kid is because of its Power Rangers and Super Sentai influence. We got 5 characters in multicolored suits teaming up to fight the bad guys. They all have unique weapons and pilot vehicles. The show has a lot going for it. While yes, it is still a children's show, there's primarily a focus on the action and storytelling.
She's targeting our weaknesses.
Of course, there's fun slice-of-life shenanigans the characters go through, but for the most part, we follow our team of heroes battling evil and building on this world.
Double monkey attack! Who's sinking who now, ugly?
Everything about Super Robot Monkey Team gives it 100%. The animation in particular is gorgeous. It was done by the Answer Studio, which is an animation studio in Japan, formed after the closure of Walt Disney Animation Japan. So because of that, there is a lot of anime influence found in the show, which works perfectly considering the show itself is influenced by anime. The show's art director, Lynn Naylor, has also worked on the Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, and Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. The art style is purposefully meant to be a tribute to classic anime. Chiro's design, being a little guy with a big head, is very reminiscent of Astro Boy. Or early ConnerTheWaffle, whatever floats your boat.
That is the problem with vid games. No practical application.
When I was a kid, I kind of avoided this show at first because I thought it was just going to be a silly cartoon with little to no action. The name was kind of a turnoff for me. Despite the name being LOL random, there's actually no episodes, at least from the ones that I watched, that are nonsense messing around.
Let me answer this one.
Charge!
The voice cast is also top-notch. Greg Sipes, Kevin Michael Richardson, Tom Kenny, Mark Hamill, they all do amazing jobs.
You guys were there for me. I wasn't for you. I really let you down.
Just because a friend makes a mistake doesn't mean you give up on them.
We got your back.
Bet on it.
Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go ran for 4 seasons and had 52 episodes, sadly coming to an end in 2006. Regardless, Super Robot Monkey Team did something pretty cool. Everyone on board had a vision, and in return, they created one of the most charming and beloved action cartoons the world will ever see.
Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go! Come on with us! Let's go!
Dragon Booster! I, honestly can't say I ever watched this back in the day.
Run, Lance! Run!
So what I can gather is that this show takes place in a world of dragons, where people control them, make them battle, and do their bidding.
This Dragon Booster truly has the strength of a hero.
Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. This show looks like Dookie. It's that iconic 2000 CGI that just wasn't quite there yet. In some cases, the bad CGI is charming and can work. Jimmy Neutron didn't have great CGI, but that's because the show didn't really have a lot of crazy action scenes, as opposed to Dragon Booster, where it's clearly a bit more ambitious than the technology allows. It's not the ugliest show I've ever seen, though. You ever see Vampires? Yeah, I thought so. The characters seem to have some cell shading, which does make their colors and overall designs pop a bit more. The voice acting is also hit or miss. The main character is voiced by Matt Hill, who also voiced Ed in Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Hang on, Let's! I'm on my way! Chicken! Pet the chicken! Pet the chicken!
He does a pretty good job, and it's funny to hear him not talk about buttered toast. As for everyone else, though, it's interesting.
If you don't make substantial improvements in your overall racing effectiveness and gains to the point standings,
The CGI is definitely Dragon Booster's biggest enemy. An action show requires a lot of action, which also requires a lot of money. And since the show doesn't seemingly have the biggest budget, that just means we spend a lot of time standing around and talking. We're left with a show that's both not great to look at or listen to.
I'm the Dragon Booster.
I don't want to be too mean though. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who like this growing up, and there is some of that early 2000s charm. It ran for 3 seasons and had 39 episodes, ultimately being cancelled because the toy sales weren't great. Yeah, did I mention Dragon Booster had a toy line? As well as a McDonald's crossover? Wait, really? I guess they had a lot of faith in this show. God bless you for trying.
Release the dragon!
As a little kid, I tried not to judge shows because it had girls as the main characters. I loved the Powerpuff Girls, Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi, My Life as a Teenage Robot. I even enjoyed the Mighty Bee. Which leads us to our next show, W.I.T.C.H.
Sorry.
Which is not the Winx Club, which I thought this was for a pretty long time. Here we follow 5 girls who have been chosen to become the Guardians and protect the universe from the evil Prince Phobos and Lord Cedric. They're just 5 everyday, regular teenagers with attitude who have been chosen and... Okay, wait, I promise not everything is Power Rangers. The girls all have to deal with these new powers that have awoken within them, all while still needing to deal with all the struggles of being a teenager. Which is actually based off of a book series. I remember seeing these at the Scholastic Book Fair. I gave the show a try back in the day, but it was a bit too teenage girly for me. However, coming back to it years later, I don't know what my problem was. This is a great show, and I did enjoy my time with it. It's definitely a 2000s Disney superhero show. You got the best friend of the opposite sex who's low-key a love interest, tons of quips to epically own the villain, and of course, who could forget the most important thing, an incredibly catchy opening theme song. Woo, goddamn, that's catchy. According to Wikipedia, it was done by someone named Sabrina. The teenage witch? Sabrina Carpenter? Ah well. Wherever and whoever you are, just know that you did an amazing job. Also, when the witches do their magical transformation, these instrumentals rock.
Guardians unite!
One of the composers credited on which is Noam Caniel, who made this song. which was animated by SIP Animation, or Saban International Paris. I could have sworn it was the same animation studio who made Totally Spies. I also kinda got those two confused when I was a kid. I mean, you know, before they transformed into witches. Which had a run of 52 episodes, until sadly coming to an end in 2006. I'm surprised there's never been an attempt at a reboot or anything. There's a lot of potential with this show. Which again, I always got confused a lot with the Winx Club on Nickelodeon, which I definitely never watched, which had a bit more of a grittier and action-focused tone. When the witch girls fight, they fight. What a time this was, when the Disney cartoon had more edge than the Nickelodeon one. Battle B-Daman, pronounced like Pokemon or Digimon? That makes sense.
You keep it all for yourself if you win. In that case, let me play.
Battle B-Daman, well, is another Pokemon and Digimon clone. We follow our main hero named Yamato Delgado. Sure, why the hell not? An 11-year-old boy raised by cats. He wants to be the best B-Damaner there is. Wait, he wants to be the man. Oh my god, I get it!
Step 1, blow Vita balls. Step 2, Vita fire.
So the show follows Yamato and his friends taking part in B-Daman battles. What's a B-Daman battle? Well, from what I can tell, every character gets a little robot toy that shoots pellets, where they then need to play different games to compete with each other. Yeah, unlike Pokemon where your little guys are battling with each other, you're instead using them as tools to like, play Connect 4 and stuff. Every battle is different and has a new set of rules. Sometimes it's resembling something like Pong or Beyblades.
The winner will be the one who knocks down the most columns. You'll both use a strike shot.
It's a very unique take on the genre. I'm not totally against it. I always enjoy movies and TV shows that take a pretty mundane sport or game and turn it into this epic duel. But here, I don't know. The Wikipedia has all of the game types listed, so I'll read you a few and you tell me if they sound exciting. Power Rally. Score points by shooting at the target at the opposite end of the table. The amount of score depends on the shot's strength. Players compete in climbing a 100-story tower by shooting at the target, with the rate of elevation based on the score. However, a missed shot causes players to descend from the tower. Or how about Cannonball, a shot put type game of firing 5 shots to knock a giant pin furthest from the starting point. 6 Wall, score points by knocking out numbered boxes. Knocking out a wall tile causes a matching item to be dropped into a giant hot bowl. You see what I mean? It's kinda not that interesting enough to be given an epic over-the-top presentation. The little robot toys don't even come alive, they're just like pellet guns. My theory is that they wanted to sell you the toys and have you play the game like you're in the show. You know, when you watch Pokemon, you can't really go to an animal shelter in real life and adopt a fire lizard to fight someone else's electric rat. But with Battle B-Daman, you're able to play exactly like they do in the show. Yeah, that's not happening. You know kids are just gonna be shooting each other with these things. The show itself is everything you think it is. A little rambunctious boy battling to be #1 while making friends and enemies along the way.
I'll get it before you do. You are dreaming.
I really like the characters' designs. They're very memorable. Yamato with his big head and huge eyes, and I love characters with blue hair, such as Terry here.
I'm not some muckabout, you know. I'm a Highlander.
A Highlander?
Aye, lad.
There's also a B-Daman video game, and it's really fun, actually. A first-person shooter on the GBA that works with the console's limitations. You're shooting balls at the opponent while avoiding theirs. Simple, but very effective. I give kudos for trying to mix up the formula, though.
That was the true power of my Cobalt Saber fire! I win!
Well, it was only a matter of time until we got to this. Power Rangers was created in 1994 by... No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, during Disney's ownership of Power Rangers from 2001 to 2009, they would air reruns on Jetix. Specifically, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, and Jungle Fury. That's all I'm gonna say, considering I have literally hours upon hours of videos talking about these shows. So, you know, go check out my Power Rangers videos after this. Alright, here's a morph.
Dino Thunder, power up!
Alright, it's time to get Ed.
It's an energy signature I've never seen before.
And I should care. Why?
Oh my goodness, I need to apologize to Dragon Booster. This is the true stuff of nightmares.
Well, that was rude!
In this show, we follow Ed, a cybernetically enhanced teenager who's both a delivery boy and hero of this world, fighting the evil forces while making sure the pizza gets there in 20 minutes.
Better hurry, guys, or you'll lose the prize.
I'll be honest, I really didn't care for this show. I hate to use the word action slop, but that's all this kind of is. A generic futuristic world with vague futuristic outfits and gadgets, fighting bad guys, going on high-speed chases. This feels like a fake show that characters watch in universe in another TV show. I mean, if you want an action show to just turn on for a few hours for your kid to watch, then sure, Get Ed will do the job. As for everyone else, you can definitely pass on this. This is Adam, short for Alpha Teens on Machines. Yeah, I'm not saying that. We'll stick with Adam.
This guy may be a problem.
And I'm the solution.
Here we follow, and you're never gonna believe this, 5 teenagers with attitude who use their vehicles, gadgets, and weapons to fight the bad guys. The Alpha Teens work for a billionaire company called Lee Industries. He held a contest where the top 5 winners would work for him and use his vast wealth and technology to take down a crime boss who killed his father. So the show is definitely a bit more gritty than what we're used to seeing on Jetix.
Say hello to your father for me.
It's got an edge. We're dealing with organized crime, revenge, vigilantism, billionaires. It's good stuff.
Rise and shine, Junior. Today is the last day of the rest of your life.
The show's art direction is very pretty. It's really sleek. Every frame looks like something straight out of a comic book. The colors are very prominent, and you can point out the characters from a mile away. They also have very thick outlines, which for me personally, I think looks really good. That combined with the sharp anatomy is a staple of 2000s action cartoons. I love seeing the villains too. Since we're not dealing with fantasy and monsters, the villains need to be somewhat realistic, such as this Dr. Octopus clone named Spida. Yeah, it's the 2000s, we need cool, hip names. There was also an episode where this guy got juiced up on steroids and they had to fight him. I'm honestly taken back with how grounded they keep the show.
A Jolon warrior deserves to meet his end with honor.
Honor? Your honor is worthless. You were paid to do a job.
Jetix sure did love its team of crime-fighting teenagers. I'm surprised Adam isn't brought up in the conversation of 2000s action shows like Teen Titans or Ben 10. Big thumbs up and an even bigger recommendation.
Hey, that's my lunch. Swiping another man's nugget. That's weak.
Pucca! Pucca? Whatever floats your boat, mother Pucca. Okay, so here we follow a young girl named Pucca. She doesn't talk much. As in, at all. But she makes up for it by kicking butt as a ninja. Yep, restaurant worker by day, deadly assassin by night. The art style is obviously what stands out the most. It's very simple, but has a lot of charm. I remember seeing these characters on merchandise everywhere when I was a kid. I never even watched the show, but these little characters are so ingrained in the back of my head. The show had over 150 episodes, won multiple awards, and even had a live musical show. All for this? I guess I never fully knew the success of Pucca. A bit of action and a bit of comedy. It feels like an early internet animation, like something you'd find on Newgrounds. I don't know what it is, but for some reason I'm just waiting for one of these characters to say a bad word or something.
And only this time make it bigger, faster, and more intense, yeah? Okay.
I definitely understand why kids would like this though. It's colorful, snappy, and just overall cartoony? Is that even a good word to describe a cartoon? There's a lot of slapstick and hijinks going on at every second. The show has a very chaotic nature, and it's fun to see just what nonsense will pop up.
Now that I have this egg, your suffering will pay.
My favorite character is Abio, clearly given some heavy inspiration from Bruce Lee. The voice acting is silly and honestly sparsely used. Most of the show's audio are sound effects and music, which I appreciate. It feels like old cartoons that just let the carnage on screen be the star of the show. The original run of Pucca was in 2006 to 2008. However, it would continue in 2019, now adopting a new CGI look, which I guess works fine considering what the show is. This. There's also the heavy inspiration from Hello Kitty and Sanrio. The big heads, bold outlines, cute characters. Oh yeah, I guarantee plenty of moms and grandmas loved watching Pucca with their kids. It was also very successful in South Korea, considering that's where the show originated from. It was a series of shorts that Disney would turn into this full-fledged show, only to then have the CGI continuation of the series be done by South Korea once again. It all comes full circle. Alright, we've reached what I consider to be the poster child of Jetix, Yin Yang Yo.
Transformate!
Ugh, that's kinda gross.
Here we follow two 11-year-old rabbits, a sister named Yin and her brother Yang. Together they train in the art of Woo Fu, a martial art that utilizes both magic and punching people in the face, training under their fat couch potato panda master, Yo. Yin, Yang, Yo. How perfect.
Why can't we have our own day?
Where together Yin and Yang get into silly shenanigans while also needing to defeat the big villain, the Night Master. The show visually feels like the most Disney cartoon. It's very vibrant and colorful. Everything from the characters to the background all pop and are visual eye candy. The characters all have thick outlines, cute faces, fun voices, and they get into wacky hijinks.
Quick, Yin! Anti-Fury Maneuver 107!
We're sorry, Master Yo.
The show could honestly have no action and it would still be very enjoyable. The world is full of talking animals who are equally as silly as our main characters. There's literally a character called Carl the Evil Cockroach Wizard who gets his own B-plots.
Carl, it's time for my soap opera.
Yeah, but I'm watching the Scrapbooking Network. It's all coming in clear and everything.
The action is just the icing on the cake, and I like the direction the show takes with it. Most action cartoons at this time took heavy inspiration and influence from Eastern shows, traditionally anime, and they integrated that into these cartoons. And while Yin Yang Yo of course has plenty of homages to anime, they primarily try to focus on the wacky Western cartoon style of action, where comedy and slapstick are at the forefront.
These are the Woo-Foo Undies of Unlimited Destiny!
But like I said, it's not all comedy. There's still plenty of, as the kids say, hype moments and aura.
Stop calling Woo-Foo stupid!
The show reminds me a lot of early Fairly Odd Parents, where the comedy and fun character interactions are at the forefront, but the action acting as a complement is where the show shines. I guess it also helps that the show was created by Bob Boyle, who was literally a producer and animator on shows like The Fairly Odd Parents.
Hi, I'm Elmer. This is my Boyle, Bob.
Yin Yang Yo ran from 2006 to 2009, having 2 seasons and 65 episodes. The debut of the pilot episode was also Jetix's most watched original animated series premiere ever, with the show continuing to get very high ratings until the very end. Yin Yang Yo deserves all the love it gets and more. A gem that should hopefully live on forever.
I'm helping!
Huh. I can't say I recall this one. Oban Star-Racers. What we have here is a French-Japanese anime. That's a first for me. I don't think I've ever seen another French anime. The premise is very interesting. There's essentially a giant intergalactic racing competition called the Great Race of Oban, where racers from every planet will compete for the ultimate prize, supposedly granting any wish you want, and Earth needs this win for its survival. The setting of the show is very unique. I don't know the word for it, but it's modern, using technology and vehicles, but it's clearly in a dire state, running low on resources and needing to revert back to a more primitive state. We follow our main character, Ava. She has an estranged relationship with her father, who just so happens to be the greatest race manager and whose team has been chosen to represent Earth. She yearns to be a mechanic, so she leaves her boarding school to instead work under her father's race team. Her and her father are so disconnected that he doesn't even recognize her. So the conflict of course comes in her wanting to tell him, but having issues in doing so, all while working as a mechanic. However, when Earth's lead racer gets injured, Ava takes on the role as lead pilot.
We wouldn't be in this mess if you had given me a trout run!
Listen, you are not the Earth Team pilot!
That's pretty much the basic premise of the show. Of course, being an anime, to get the full scope of Oban Star-Racers, you'll need to watch every episode and let the story unfold. Which I didn't do for this video, I'm sorry. It's nothing against the show, however. Oh no, this is a very unique anime and I love its premise. For an anime, it's very short, having only 26 episodes. In 2021, the show celebrated its 15th anniversary, where they released a Kickstarter campaign for a Blu-ray release in its HD format. And it was successful, raising over $400,000 and letting the show breathe life once again. The campaign was also used as a way to encourage new Oban-related projects. So, hopefully this series can keep on going somehow. Digimon! I never watched Digimon as a kid, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm coming in from a pretty ignorant viewpoint, so I apologize if I get things wrong. Please yell at me in the comments. So to my knowledge, Digimon follows a group of kids going on adventures and battling with their little guys. Or big guys on some occasion. The typical Pokemon formula. That's pretty much my framework for Digimon. So, I was pretty surprised to see that Data Squad takes a different approach. Instead of watching kids going on fun adventures, we have young adults clocking in for work.
I'm with the Digimon Data Squad.
The Digital Accidents Tactics Squad, or DATS for short, is a government organization tasked with keeping the peace between the digital world and the real world. The main characters we follow are all agents for DATS, showing up when there's a disturbance and battling Digimon if need be.
It's time to Digivolve!
Sir, yes, sir.
The show's not mature in the traditional sense, but following around teenagers with a mission as opposed to what I assume would normally be children full of whimsy and adventure is a surprise I wasn't expecting. The characters are often sassy, solving mysteries, talking with the police, and dealing with crime, all while of course Digimon are involved. It's kind of like playing a Pokemon game where your main character works under Officer Jenny, responding to crime and having a more mission-oriented adventure.
The fire can be blown out by the wind. Then again, you gotta fight fire with fire!
Again, I have no emotional attachment to Digimon, but I'd imagine it was pretty cool having a more, quote-unquote, grown-up version of Digimon. The Digimon Data Squad actually got me pretty interested in the franchise, so hey, maybe I'll dive more into this franchise in the future. Also, what is that? That's a Digimon? Hell no! So, let's take a little break here and check out some Jetix video games. Yeah, of course there were video games based off these shows. Most of them were Flash games, but there actually were a few console releases, such as Dragon Booster on the Nintendo DS.
Release the dragon!
Really? Dragon Booster of all shows? Alright, I'm open-minded. So naturally this is a racing game. Kinda. Yeah, they couldn't even get that right. Such a layup for a game and they fumbled it. So let's look past the fact that the game is visually disgusting, a jumble of pixels hurled on the screen. You press up on the D-pad to move forward and left and right. Meanwhile, you need to use the stylus to do everything else. You tap on your character to jump and hold down to get higher. When you come across the other riders, you need to tap on them to attack. I guess you go flying off and use yourself as a projectile. To the surprise of no one, this control scheme really sucks. Needing to balance one hand moving left and right to avoid obstacles, while also needing to tap on items, the other racers, and yourself to jump and dodge. It becomes a bit too much. Level 1 was kinda manageable, but once I got to level 2, it was an absolute train wreck that I wanted no part in continuing. Now here's a game I've never heard of in my entire life. Jetix Puzzle Buzzle.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so what the hell? You take control of the Jetix logo, which is the laziest thing I've ever seen, where you then need to grab Tetris pieces and play Tetris? You get a hold of a piece and need to move left and right, flip it around, and place it. You move at your own pace though, which I found to be interesting. However, I quickly lost and thought, wait, I still have space. That's when I realized I was playing the game completely wrong. What you need to actually do is create a platform to reach your spaceship. However, your platform needs to be structurally sound, so you can't do what I did and just start stacking pieces since, you know, that happens. So, okay, once I understood that, the game actually became pretty fun. I still lost, but it's a unique take on the puzzle genre. I just wish they had a tiny bit more effort here. Like, why are we playing as the Jetix logo? The thing's not even animated. You could literally just use PNGs of Jetix characters and change the background to some random wallpapers of the show, and you might actually have a game that people remember. Okay, this is Jetix Stream 3D Racing. I can't find any information regarding this. You take control of your favorite Jetix-themed vehicle. Naturally, I picked the Power Rangers one, and you race. It's a bit of a hybrid between F-Zero and Mario Kart. F-Zero with the atmosphere and flying cars, but the game's not very fast. You pick up items like in Mario Kart, but I was always in first, so I just wasted items in hopes to get the speed boost. When you get the speed boost, the game then actually feels kinda fun. I also love the billboards advertising the shows. I'm already playing your Jetix game, I know they exist! Then we got some flash games like Yin Yang Yo, Crouching Panda, Hidden Rabbit. You take control of Yin and Yang and need to hit the switches, with some switches only being activated by the other. Also, you smack around bad guys in the process. I love flash games. Why are these enemies such low quality? It looks like you found an image off Google and stretched it too much. What a great game, I could play these all day. Yin Yang Yo, Flip Flop Foo. You swap between Yin and Yang once again and need to hit the bubbles. Yin can attack the top half of the screen while Yang controls the bottom, and you hit the control button to swap between the two. Again, it's very satisfying, and for a free flash game, you could be here all day. Now, I'm actually planning on doing a dedicated Power Rangers flash game video in the near future, but for a little teaser, let's check out Power Rangers Ninja Storm. I can already tell we're in for something great. Oh, come on. Of course it sucks! You play as the Red Ranger and need to collect Thunderbolts, not get hit, and make it to the exit. It's as basic and boring as it looks. They seriously did not care about the game at all. You want to know how I know that? Because your health is represented by the red Wild Force helmet that's not even the same season! Why must I suffer? They couldn't even play a compressed, awful rendition of the theme song on loop in the background. I mean, that's Flash Game 101. I'm not surprised, though. Let's get back to the shows. With a name like Monster Buster Club, I was expecting some kind of epic Monster Hunter-style anime. That's not what I got. This show came out in 2008, towards the end of Jetix's run, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who like this show, but this is a far cry from what the network's identity was built on. Yeah, it's a perfectly fine children's show, but when I think Jetix, I'm thinking of original action cartoons with some quality, you know? I've mainly been focusing on Jetix originals, shows that were created for the network. However, there's plenty of other shows that Disney had access to that they would air. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series from 2003 is pure perfection, easily still my favorite interpretation of the Turtles, with its heavy anime inspiration, serious storytelling, voice acting, and action. Jackie Chan Adventures is probably the best celebrity cartoon out there, following Jackie Chan and friends going on kung fu adventures.
We try to stay one step ahead of these guys. It beats having a very bad day.
Nobody was more lovable in the 2000s than Jackie Chan, so seeing him get an actual cartoon that still holds up is very heartwarming. You got Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, Batman the Animated Series, Gargoyles, the list goes on and we could spend hours here. Jetix was a huge success, bringing in massive ratings. However, unfortunately, come 2009, the programming block would come to an end, slowly being rebranded as Disney XD, which also had some highlights for sure, but doesn't pack the same punch that Jetix had. An experimental time where Disney took some risks and stepped out of their usual sanitized, squeaky clean programming. What a time to be alive. I love 2006. I love skating on my skateboard. I like biking on my bike. I like extreme sports oh so much. I like wearing brand branded clothes like Thrasher and Vans. I love being a teenager in 2006. Naruto AMVs, sucking emotes. Hot Topic is so awesome. Jackass is so funny. Bam Margera has a TV show. I want to give him money. Tony Hawk, Matt Hoffman, the one bald. I can't remember his name, but dear Jesus, I love them all. I love being a teenager in 2006. Naruto AMV sucking emotes. I love being a teenager in 2006. Naruto AMVs sucking emotes. Halo 2 with the boys. Madagascar with Alex the Lion. 9/11 was not funny, but everything else is fine. Shoot to Whoop is epic. George Bush says silly crap. Osama bin Laden is out there. Eminem is good at rap. I love being a teenager in 2006. Naruto AMVs sucking emo dick. I love being a teenager in 2006. Naruto AMVs sucking emo dick.